In this video, we're going to go over how to create a basic physical item. First, click Inventory in the left menu. Then click Items. In the top right, click New Item. Any field in red is required. So for our example, we're going to create a tennis ball. We don't have a barcode display name for this particular item. For the categories, we're going to select balls. We don't have a second category for this item, so we're not going to bother. For the supplier, we're going to select pen. If we didn't have a supplier, we could click Add and create them here. There's no UPC number for this particular item, so we're going to leave it blank. For the product ID, I'm going to number it 34. There's no additional item numbers that I need for here, although you could add them by clicking Add Item Number and entering them here. For tags, I'm going to click Summer. I'm going to leave Manufacturer blank. In description, you would add a brief explanation as to what the product is. If you're planning on shipping the product, it's important to enter the weight unit, and the dimensions of the item. If there's a certain amount that you always receive when you get new inventory, you can enter that number here. We don't have a set amount that we get every order, so I'm going to leave it blank. If for some reason you don't want an item to be active because it can't be purchased at the moment, click Inactive. I'm going to uncheck this because the tennis balls do not have a barcode. Clicking Is Favorite will make it easier to find this item at checkout. It'll be in the Special Favorites section of the grid. We're going to skip the e-commerce, series, and service information because this is just a basic item we're creating. When you're done with this information, scroll up to the top. Variations is an advanced feature, so we're not going to touch on that here. We're going to move on to pricing. The cost price is how much it costs you to get this item. The selling price is how much you're going to sell it to your customers. Here is where you can add information about your pricing tiers if there is a special price that applies if something's in that tier. If you're running a promotion, you can also enter a promotional price in here and select a start and end date. If you don't want price rules to apply to this item, you can click here. And if you want to be able to change the price of this at checkout no matter what, click here. If the prices include tax, indicate it by checking this box. If an item can only be sold in whole numbers, click here. For example, we can't sell half a tennis ball. If you would like an employee to be able to change the cost price of an item during a sale, check this box. If you want to change the commission rules around this item, check this box. You can then set your own custom commission rates for this specific item. You can also override the default tax and apply a specific tax to this item here. When you're done, scroll up and go to Inventory. Here you can set up the reorder level. This means what number do you get to before you want to buy more because you don't want to run out of this item. Replenish level is how many you should purchase whenever you do purchase more of this item. Days to expiration would be for goods that only last for a certain period of time. Current quantity is the number of tennis balls or of the item that you currently have. If any of the items were damaged, you can add it here and it'll remove it from the current quantity. Add any comments that are necessary for your item. When you're done, move on to images. If you have any images of the item that'll make it easier to find it in the grid, you can add them here. The final step is to set the locations for your item. If you have multiple locations, you get to choose if the items are sold at that location, as well as set up the taxes, prices, and reorder levels for those specific locations. Your new item will show up in your items queue. You can edit it at any time by clicking Edit next to it. You can also click on the item and then select to delete it if you no longer need it in your store. This will remove it from all analytics and reports, so be careful before deleting items. And that's how you create a basic item.